wait a minute, it's not a best of 5. It's a best of 7. So spawning up here in the north, working to claw his way back through the tournament, battled his way through the loser bracket to make it back for a revenge match. He is our red Vanguard player, Mixu. And his opponent, spawning in the south, defeated him before, is looking to get some quick, easy wins to close out and become the champion. He is our blue Celestial player, Nicoract. And if you're wondering where his base is, it's up here. We're going for that quick collection array. We're getting our power banks. And again, we're going to just make a line to protect this area. Doggo's coming in. Trying to get the last hit. Does not get it, but that's okay. Morph Core is now out to help make sure that this doesn't happen. Oh, I don't know if he got it. That was close. Maybe. He's waiting. He's trying. Keep an eye on the income here. We'll see if he gets it. Yeah, he might get this one for sure. Like, the Morph Core could get in here and be annoying, but... Oh, bye. Bye, chicken. See ya. Low health, low health. Oh, nice. Denies it with the Morph Core. Doesn't let him get the flower. So, what we would expect to see for our Vanguard player, Mixu, is a very similar opening here. Doggo's coming out. We're going to get, of course, a Lancer going as well, and we're going right for this health thing first. Like the health camp, we've talked about this before. The easiest camps to capture in this game are health camps and speed camps. They're the weakest. There's a lot of them. You get a big boost to your economy, so you should be going for those as your first couple stuff. These, like, you know, the bruisers there, really hard to deal with at the Luminites and the Therium mines and stuff like that. That's going to be really tough to deal with here. But we see the Doggos constantly checking information. Where are you? Why aren't you over here? Why aren't you trying to get your own health camp in this process? And part of that is we're going to start to see the Argent build up. So we got to see a Kree game before. Now we're getting into an Argent game. This is kind of that specifics to the Celestial players. What are their preferences? What do they prefer to play? And we see, Nicoract showed us this before. He goes for the double creation chamber, gets all of his resources and energy from all of his power into speeding these out and producing them so fast that it's so hard to deal with. We're going to be getting our Guardian Nexus up behind all this and really kind of get into those next stages, get some upgrades here, being able to help out on our Argents. Because if you can get that upgrade that they are able to regenerate energy faster and get more movement speed outside of combat, that'll be really helpful. But we do see both the health camps are in favor of Mixu at this point in time. So again, they're easier to kill, so you are able to get those. But, catches an Argent. Still has a lot of energy, so you got to be careful. The Doggo is going to be really focused on this kind of micro back and forth. Takes out one, and it is the Battle Mech style. The Hedgehog and the Doggos. We're going all speed all the time here and going to be focusing on this and keeping our pressure on our opponent this time here with this kind of build here. And now we've got to be careful as we get closer. That Defender's Advantage, Sovereign's Watch going to come out here. We also have that extra power banks to power up and make sure those Argents are dealing extra damage. Knowing that we cannot fight this, let's fall back, let's heal up, let's get ready for the next stage. But look at these 3-starred Vanguard dogs are going to be nice, but it's going to be really having to crank out these mech bays. The problem and the dangers right now is that we have a very strong fighting force, and if we don't go for a strong fighting force, we die. But if we just let our opponent sit back here and continue to use their fighting force, look, he's got a second collection array going now. So it's all like 3 collection arrays going. His economy is going to be skyrocketing. So we're going to try to find an angle to get in here. And one cool thing that the Hedgehogs get access to is the fact that they can go in anti-air mode and be able to shoot stuff. But we're going to get in here. We're going to start taking out the power banks and forcing these Argents to chase us around. Oh, Sovereign's Watch gets used, but we do kill at least one of the banks and reposition, refocus ourselves on over. In the meantime, we're going to start taking the watchtowers down and reposition ourselves over here. And look, there's the fight. Trying to chase these units down, but it's really just kind of hit and run tactics. We forced out 2 Sovereign Watches here. We lose 1 dog in the process. For 1 dog for a power bank, it's minimal trades off. We're not that worried about it. But 2, if we don't have enough, the Argent count's going to get too high like now, and now we're in this scramble mode of how do we deal with this? And we're going to try to delay it as much as possible here. But back at home, we're going to need some sentry posts, and we've got one coming out here. Do we have another Hornet coming out? We've got our biokinetics lab to kind of help out, make our dogs deal more damage. But, I mean, that's not a lot to have to go off of. That's a lot of Argents to have to fight with, and this is the same kind of thing that we saw in the previous series here. But there's a lot more of our friend. Oh my gosh, he killed the chicken. Okay, I was like, he killed the chicken, not the flower. All right, he repositioned himself and gets himself in here. So now we're going to get a big economy boost, trying to snipe this out before the Argents get in here, and we do. Oh, we got the speed. Okay, that's good. Any little bit of extra speed makes a huge difference here, but we will end up losing this, but we have to be aware that this avenue of attack is still a possibility. We could end up fighting over it, but Argents are still holding the line at the speed camp. We take this as an opportunity to try to pounce on him and deal with it, but really we've got to be worried about the next big push. That's so many Argents there that are out on the map, and we're going to catch one. So finding a couple of reinforcements are nice. This is also that kind of scramble, return everybody back home, but we talked about this avenue of attack. This is the vulnerability right now to this base. We've got another Hedgehog coming out here. Machine Lab is almost done, but is it going to be done in time? I don't think so, because there's the Biokinetics Lab. Bob's getting pulled off the line. Where's the rest of the army? Nowhere to be found. They all have to run on back home and try to get up here. We are going to be seeing that nice little rocket upgrade to help him out. We got a repair bot coming out here to try to help repair these units. But look at this. Just kind of single targets down. Boom, boom, boom. Bob's getting pulled off the line. And this is where things get really bad, because you're not mining trying to defend this, but if you don't defend this, you die. And the fact that there are 3 collection arrays going for your opponent is just making this worse for you. All right, the Hornets, though, dealing quite a lot of damage in the process here. Now we got to be able to do a little bit of split, try to save some of them. A lot of these were low energy, but look at that big power-up helping to push that fighting force into a higher level here. But so many Bobs still left not mining, still left having to defend, trying to absorb hits here. A dog comes in from the other side to try to help out, does a little bit of damage here, and we will be seeing this nice little trade-off. All of these Hedgehogs left alive is the big help in this, but there's the next reinforcement wave. Full energy Argents are going to start tearing through these little buggies, and they're going to have to be zipping around. We were able to start returning back home with some of them, but look, some Bobs still just stuck here. We got to get home. We got to start repairing. We got to start mining. Oh, it's a scramble to get back to the base here as Argents start to tickle, but if they're wasting their energy on that, then that's fine. Or, you know, instead of using it on our big health units here. So we are going to be holding the line with our 4 Hedgehogs, but that's basically all we've got going, that and our repair bot. So we're trying our best, trying to delay them, trying to weaken them when we can and fall back home. But 4 units versus an army is not how this is going to go. This is not 300 right now. This is not what you want to have happen. There's no way you can kind of tunnel them into one spot and get some splash damage going to kind of slice them in half. But we are trying our best, microing with the Hedgehogs here. Another one's popping out. We're basically just stuck, committed to this on one base. We have to defend this here. And where are the reinforcements, Argents? They're still coming across. You see more and more blue units moving their way in here. But all of the Hedgehogs are pretty much left alive. He's trying to micro them around, but they keep getting stuck. But if you have no Bobs left, it doesn't matter if you have an army. And look, a couple of them still very, very low health here. A lot of the Argents still low energy, but what? You're left with 5 Bobs to hold the line here. We clean up, we defend. Great job with the Hedgehogs, and you took out all that army. Supplies are even, but the economy is going to make a huge difference here. All these collection arrays up and running here will make things so much tougher. There's more prisms that are out now, and now Nicoract is like mass producing. We got to rebuild our army here, and he's got still quite a bit set over here. All right, defend this location. Oh, we got the reveal. We had to return and sell some of our structures because we could not afford anything else. We are in this like mass panic mode. We are in desperate need of resources. So now we start moving out. Look at this nice little micro, forcing this brute to just get picked apart here. And that's that kind of speed that you've got, utilizing that speed camp to be able to do this back and forth aspect here. And boom, 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 shreds it. Gets on top of that, and in desperate need of that additional Luminite here. Okay, pay close attention to our economies from both the players. Yes, we've got the buggy mode going on. Yes, we're zipping around here, being annoying, but the amount of Argents that are out here is the real scary part. And here we go. We get to see the reveal. We get the confirmation here. Nice little snipe to keep that health there on one of your weakened hedgehogs as we kind of zip our way over. But, ooh, still just kind of tickling, dealing what we can. We're able to try to get an expansion. So that was a big part of us grabbing this Luminite Tower, being able to start grabbing the additional Luminite Tower. And our opponent is massing up for another big attack, right? That's their whole goal right now. There's the reveal. Hey, did you take this? Yes, I did. And you are sitting here with the Argents. You could try to push up again, but the amount of hedgehogs that are there, it's going to be tough. So now we have to get to that next stage, and the Cabal is what we're looking for. Let's power it up, get as much energy as possible, and really just stop the movement and the power of the hedgehogs. Hedgehogs rely on speed to get in there, do that little damage. And look, we got a little strike node here, but we're going to do a little bit of micro, take that out. And Sovereign's Watch is going to get popped. There's the slow. That's what we're looking for. We're going to take out 3 of the hedgehogs very quickly here, and that's almost half of the fighting force of all these units. And another slow, and it's on the 3-star one. Oh, no, that's huge. Single targeting down, trying to pick apart these, but we've, again, just dropped down even more. The Cabals just completely turned the tide on this army here. And look, another hedgehog gets added into the mix, and you're trying your best to micro back at home, but look how slow they are. That slow is so powerful. Oh, my gosh, the tickle powers of the Argents without energy was nice, but he turns, starts the fighting again. We'll be able to kind of try to micro back the best he can, but another hedgehog falls. Cabals are too much to turn the tide here as he continues to march his way across. More blue is going to trickle across on the mini-map as we sit here and fight. Mixu's not going down without a fight, though. He knows that he can keep microing through this. Bob has come over to try to help add some repairing. Destroyed some trees. Bob, what are you doing? Gets in there, turns in to start fighting as well here, and which is going to be that little hilarious little Bob adventures. But yeah, oh my gosh, 1 health, dead hedgehog going down. These other ones going to roll their way around. I like the idea of going for the hedgehog play here. It's worked out very well against the Argents. The problem was once the Cabals got added to the mix, things got really scary. But we have our second mech base. We're able to start producing 2 at a time this time to help out. We've got the Repair-O-Matic helping to repair through things here. A dog got added to the mix. A next big wave of energy going to just start powering these troops up to make sure you have that extra damage you can do. Make sure you can do the mega slows on these, and that's what's happening. They are going to start getting slowed down. Where can they move? Nowhere. They're going to roll their way up to the north and start to get picked apart. But the Repair-O-Matic keeping them alive. Bob's getting in here too to try to keep it alive, but it is not enough. We're left with 2 dogs coming out as well. Another hedgehog gets added in here. We're up to 3 hedgehogs, but look, another slow and another snipe, and that will be cleaned up very quickly. Yeah, we're trying our best. We're trying to micro our way around here and try to pick apart anything we can, but the amount of slow that is being dished out as our Celestial player is too much for our Vanguard to deal with. He's trying, he's doing his best to micro through things, keep these alive, and that was the main thing that was able to keep him alive in that first initial push, is using these buggies to zip around, using the Bobs to actually help out here, and so far he's doing okay, actually, right? He's not dead and overwhelmed yet, especially because the Argents have no energy. Next wave of Argents showed up, though, that do have energy. That means their attack power is going to be even more. Look at these Bobs stuck. Oh, no, it's not what you want to see have happen here. We got 5 hedgehogs here. One very low health, one very slow, is trying to be able to stay alive here. Repair-O-Matic coming out. Bob's keeping him alive, and that is the huge turning point. Having this Repair-O-Matic, having the Bobs here to repair is turning the tide. The amount of Argents are gone. The Cabals are gone, and the line was held. Mixu held on, did not give up, allowed this repairing to really take place and keep this alive. Having the double mech base to really produce stuff, having additional dogs come out really helped out. That's that kind of speed and power of the battle mech style, but now we can kind of get in, take over this little speed camp as well. In the meantime, Doggo's coming over and going to take back this Luminite mine that he says, I did all the work to get this. I deserve to have this. But where is Nicoract's transition from this? He's stuck. He's committed to this. He has to go for Cabals. He has to go for Argents, and he's adding in 2 more creation chambers as we're getting into these next stages of the game. And things have been working out very well up to this point. He hasn't been able to kill his opponent off, but he's been keeping his opponent on his, on the defensive, because he knows, hey, if you get out on my side of the map, I'm going to use the Cabals. I'll slow your units down, and I'll start picking them apart, and you won't be able to use them the way that you want. But now that the army was taken out, we get right back to that same mentality that Mixu got to use. Oh, I'm free to go out and I'm free to take over all of the towers again. I'll get an economy boost from that, from killing the units, and you can see, you just watch the income just kind of skyrocket up from this. But there's the big army coming in, so he's got to make sure that these units get away. So we get some slow on the dogs. So the next big push is coming. This is where things get dangerous, right? Where other players could easily die off if you let your foot off the gas and don't keep producing the right amount of units. And we'll end up, there's the reveal, seeing that he is trying to take an additional base. So he knows that there's a lot of resources committed to an expansion. If he can win this fight, he can be in a good spot here, but we know that the amount of damage that the Hedgehogs deal is too much. He said, I don't need to run. You can have your Cabals all you want. I'm going to just overwhelm you in firepower, and that's exactly what happened. This army got cleaned up here. A third base is getting added into the mix here, and this is the power of this battle mech style that is so cool and such an entertaining one to watch. You have the speed, you've got the mobility to get over here, take over all the camps, take over all the stuff on the map, and we are going to get double Luminite mines. This one is available as well again. We can start taking up the health camps here, but we're really going to start looking in and posturing up and seeing if we can find an avenue to now push back on our opponent. There's an Argent. We're going to be able to get in here and try to start taking out some of the power banks. We'll see, are there any Sovereign's Watches? None so far. We're just taking quite a lot of damage. We're trying to kind of hide our way in here and just look at the beams of purple, trying to power up and trying to charge up all the Argents. And that's the dangerous part. If you overcommit with so many defensive structures there, you're going to have such a hard time. But taking quite a bit out is really nice. But this is how Nicoract likes to play. He's sitting here saying, I'm just going to have all the power banks and use these almost like shield batteries to keep my units powered up and ready to be able to fight. But we saw that kind of reposition of his army. He expected him to swing down. He said, Mixu's probably going to attack my main base. No, he reposition, came back in for another big push in here, and this is the danger part here. Do you have enough DPS to fight underneath of all these? I don't know. We're losing quite a lot of our Hedgehogs here as so much of these Argents got to power up. Kree getting added to the mix. This is great when your opponent has a bunch of slow moving units. These are light units. They're mechanical, yes, but they are light, so Kree able to just move so fast, roll their way over here, and he's going to go for the surround and try to turn the tides of this battle. More Hedgehogs going to get produced, but the slow is the main problem here. He can barely move, barely micro the way that he wants to, and we're seeing him trying to single target down these weakened units, and will be doing quite a bit of damage here. But look at the Kree. They know exactly what their job is. They're going to try to body block. They're going to try to turn the tide and slice things in half. But look, more Hedgehogs coming up. These are fast-moving ones. They don't have to worry about the slow. Great little push and pull match between these two players, showing off just how skilled they are in this first game in this series here. No, it says 1-0 right now, but Nicoract, of course, came from the winners bracket final, so he does have that 1-0 lead in this best of 7. But this is really showing just how high level, high skill these two players are in this series and understanding this matchup here. So we do see kind of that reposition. Okay, we fought a little bit. We have a little break now. We can kind of take that sigh of relief. Let's now both go back to doing what we do best, creeping up, getting this big boost to our economy that we can then just dump right back into our production. And that's kind of our next big plan here. So both players are kind of setting up, getting additional expansions up and running and making sure they're safe here. Look at all these prisms coming on over here so we can continue to just mine up and get things ready. In the meantime, Hedgehogs are going to come and try to grab this Therium mine, which, again, is very dangerous. Doggos reveal, and we know exactly what's happening here. So this is that scary moment of, okay, you have to be spamming your Doggo reveal as much as possible. Vulcan's added in here. This is the nice next transition. So think about if you ever played Heroes of the Storm, the Tychus flat cannon here. He's got the rail guns here that will just deal extra damage to any units in a line. Let's make this path a little bit easier to deal with here and just kind of charge our way through destroying those trees. But this is the danger zone, right? If we go and try to surround this army, that would be great. So right now, Nicoract's trying to determine where is the angle to attack. And look at this, just pulls this Vulcan right out of the army here, pulls the other one out of the army where they cannot attack. There's the rest of the army, though. Maybe he thought this was all that he had to deal with, but now he's surrounded. Bob's coming off the line, trying to get in here. We see the Hedgehogs dealing the extra damage that he needs on the back. Vulcan's now dropping back down. The Cabal's disable ability, not able to continue up with them, and look at how much damage. The entire army gets shredded under the firepower of the Vulcans. We needed that big boost to DPS, and we got it right here with these Vulcans. But behind all this, Nicoract is not not dead and out. He still has a large army that he's going to be able to produce up, heavy on the Kree, heavy on the Cabals. The problem is Kree not very effective against the Vulcans, right? These are big, heavy units, very tanky, and that's kind of the big turning point that we got to see with that army of shifting and going, okay, I'm heavy on the mech bay. Let's really rely heavy on mech this time around here and go for that. And now we're going to get over and continue to take this Luminite mine, and look at this perfect little spot that he can be in where you kind of just mess the micro up and the UI up of this the brutes, so they just kind of kite back and forth until they get killed off here. But we are set up in a pretty nice spot for Mixu, but Nicoract is not like out of this game by any means. He's been able to start getting additional expansions up. We're starting to get this base up here, and so both players are getting into this kind of later stage, but we're committed 100% to our creation chambers, getting and just pumping out Kree, pumping out Argents here, getting the Cabals. Cabals are necessary for slowing down such a very fast, very mobile army. But I would love to see us kind of get into the higher tech stuff if we're able to, right? We're starting to get the Legion Chamber or Legion Hall, the Ascension Matrix here, and there is the next stage, the Anomancers. All right, so we're going to be able to get big boost to our damage as well. We got to see the big boost to the Vanguard by having access to the Vulcans. We're going to get to the Anomancers and start dropping some black holes on their army and really shut them down, allowing us to be able to deal some serious damage. Now, it is a channel ability, so if you can disrupt it, that is something you do. But Doggo's catching the army. Vulcan's showing, hey, we're still here. You can't just come across this side of the map. I'm controlling this, right? I control the towers. I'm going to make sure he gets over to the heals up as much as possible as he sets himself up here. But there, more and more Cabals getting added into the mix here. This army is, like, both armies are scary. Like, it's going to be tough for them to be able to actually get a good engagement. We've got the big speed coming out here. We need the Vulcans here, but we are revealing that, yes, there's the Therium time. Does a quick reveal. Is your army over here? No, it's actually over here on the left-hand side, and Vulcans dive forward so they can be up in the front. Another Vulcan gets caught off on the right-hand side, but look how it takes so long for the Kree to be able to deal with it, and that's the downside. The army crumbles. GG is called. Nicoract taps out. Mixu takes the first game of the series, tying things up in this best of 7. What an exciting first match. Really even, really close game there, and really showing that Mixu adapted to the way that Nicoract played in the early seasons. I know you're going for Argents. I know that. So if I get a very heavy army out early, I'll be set up in a good spot to deal with this, and I'm not going to just like put my foot off the gas. I just got to keep going and keep putting all of my resources into my army for the time being. Defend against your attacks that you're just going to keep sending my way until I wipe your army out at least twice. Then I can be able to get away with setting up and taking expansions and dragging it out. And we got to see a longer game. It was just nonstop aggression from our Celestial player, Nicoract, there. And it worked out very well in the first time that they played. It was working out well this time, but the Hedgehog staying alive made a huge difference. Just being able to keep that extra DPS, utilizing his bobs as both a defensive way for repairs, but also offensively get into the way, hold the line, be blockers, even be attackers in it. So it was really cool to see that. Such a great start to the series and showing such high level play here. And now we're going to be jumping into Secluded Grove in this best of 7 finals of Alpha Navigator Cup. Nicoract versus Mixu here in this series. Vanguard versus Celestial. It is our red Vanguard player looking to get his first place finish that he missed out on in Season 0 final. He is Mixu. And his opponent, spawning in the south, coming from the winner's bracket, qualified last week at the Last Chance qualifier. He is our blue Celestial player, known as Nicoract. So, going for the early expansion here. Secluded Grove, another old school classic map within the game. And we've got a really cool one because there's a pretty wide open entryway here. Easy for players to get in. The contention will be over natural expansions on this map. So we're not seeing any super cheesy, super aggro plays right off the bat. We're kind of going for a more safer, let's get things going, get the creation chamber up, let's kind of build up and do our normal stuff. But we already see, let's get it going, let's get creeping going. Most of the time you'll see players are opting for health camps right off the bat. That is kind of the normal traditional way to be doing it, and we're seeing the Vanguard player go for the normal traditional route of, hey, here's your Lancer followed up by a bunch of dogs. Right, you go for this very aggressive first push here at the health camp because you're going to take a lot of damage, so you want to make sure your units are healed up and ready to be able to fight out. Also, being able to go over and try to find all of those healing flowers makes a big difference. What up, chicken? No healing flower there, though. Where are we going for it? Biokinetics Lab. Additional barracks. So the 2-rack style of play here, we're going to be pumping out lots of dogs right now, and we're going to be going for this kind of heavy dog build. We're going to rely on that to start with. We'll see if we get into anything else if we go for the battle mech style and the speed of hedgehogs and dogs. We're still in the early stage where we don't have as much info of what our opponent is doing, but we know how we want to start, and we want that speed to get out and run around here. But in the meantime, heavy Argent play, just like Nicoract likes in all of his matches against Vanguard, and we'll be kind of relying on that. We see kind of where the players are focusing, right? They're putting their attention going to the lefts, going to the right, and everybody's just sort of focused on, I know what I need to be doing right now. I need to be getting this big income boost from killing out off the creeps and then going from there. But the dogs get confirmation that there is a free health camp here. We talked about how the speed camps and the health camps are the easiest one to be able to take. There are no speed camps on this map, so both players are going to be grabbing those. And having access to the energy tower is going to be very nice. But more and more Argents coming out here. Do we have our second? Yeah, I was like, there's got to be a second creation chamber here. And there's the Guardian Nexus, too. So we can start getting some upgrades added in here for our Argents. But pay close attention to the amount of units that we're going to start building up and our supplies here. But look at this. Grabs this health camp. Here come the Argents. We're going to try to fight over this. Dogs reveal. We get that count and confirmation how many troops there actually are, and go, okay, we don't want to fight this, but this is great to know what your army looks like and how you're doing this on this map. So let's get out of here in that regard. Back on over. Do we get the next addition? We're going heavy into the Exos early here. So this is going to be our additional upgrade. They get the bonus speed, and we're going to be going for a nice little timing attack with the Exos. Dogs, Exos, Lancers. It's a risk right now because we're on the other side of the map, and where's the army? Right over here. Look, he's going to grab the watchtower and all this. Catches an Exo off guard. He's going to get sniped off. The second one is at risk too, and we get this panic mode. Army is going to be trying to run back and regroup up. A doggo just gets caught off guard as well, and our army is kind of split on both sides of the map. But we want to try to get this surround here. The next wave of Argents is coming out. That's a very large count. We talked about how desperate you are to just keep up the unit production. You can't really afford to get an expansion up yet, so you've got to really just rely on this, or you're going to end up dying. So big reveals, just confirming where's the army at. He's going to get the watchtower. Oh, going to get the watchtower secured. Yes, he does. And then the army is going to have to come back. But that's a really scary push that's coming around here. Exos do have their upgrades, so watch their speed, get that big boost, but so much damage. That's the downside to them. They are very, very high DPS, but very, very low health. So we do see kind of this micro back and forth. Doggo's pouncing on the front, and the army's kind of split, trying to deal with one thing while the Exos are in the back dealing damage. And you have to pay attention to the Exos because that's the scary damage dealers of this army. The dogs will be able to help delay things, and got to need that speed. One gets taken out. Second one's going to get single targeted down here as all of these celestial units are charging their way up to the natural here. Nicoract doing his best, powering up, recharging those energy shields here, and it looks like we do see getting quite a lot of levels on these Exos, but is there enough to deal with this? Not really. We have to pull the bobs off of it, but it is enough to help turn the tide because we see Nicoract retreating with his troops, pulling back any additional reinforcements that might be coming. So great call of Mixu, utilizing the bobs that he has to keep this pressure and this push up. Now, how much is he going to keep using these bombs? Is he going to be continue to dive up? He's only on one base, so he's got to really make sure that this hits hard. Is he going to start putting up sentry posts and really lock down with a hard contain over here? That is a possibility, but that's quite a lot of Argents that he will have to get through. So once the doggo gets in here and confirms what we're looking at, we're going to see how he responds to this. Bob's coming in. All right, Bob's, what are you doing? On the sentry post. Is it time? All right, there's the first one. He's got to delay this. And he's hiding in the trees, trying to take out a power bank. And this is that scary part where you can't really go in until you're ready. You don't know how many dogs might be here. You don't know what's going to happen. But if he takes this out, that's going to be huge. But oh my gosh, almost gets the Exo. Will be chasing that one down and does get the snipe off here. But how much extra damage is going to get done? Quite a few extra damage. And Kree getting added in, but it's not. That one's going to get denied. First sentry post is done. So now we can start using this as a hard contain, bunny hopping our way forward here. Getting some Exos in here with the flat cannon going, which will really help turn the tide of this. We do see the Sovereign's Watch coming out, knowing that he has to hold the line here at this expansion here. But we see big build up here, getting ourselves ready. More Exos moving across the map. How much range does this have? Do we have enough that we can start wailing on the army? Maybe. Yeah, we're just going to keep surrounding this. All right, get an Exo in there. Get an Exo in there. Oh, we lose one, but let's just go right back to building it. All right, that's what we're happy about. Sovereign's Watch going to get popped over here on this power bank, but immediately gets sniped off here. Kree's getting added to the mix here, but we've got to start getting these. Look, low health Exo immediately gets in there, goes to the flat cannon here, and that's going to help add a little bit of extra firepower if we start fighting near that. But we have these kind of call spaces that we can kind of reposition at. And Sovereign's Watch is still going. We got to be careful. Now it's done. We know that our time is ready. The sentry post is done. And now, look, we can immediately start going to continue our bunny hopping forward here. Kree's there, and GG's called. He knows that there's nothing that he's going to be able to do in this situation. He's already kind of at a loss. All of his resources went into his army, and it was not enough to be able to take his opponent out. Mixu takes that game, goes up 2-1. This one benefit here we got to see is that never taking your foot off the gas with unit production, right? He says, I'm going to rely on my Exos here to really get out there and kind of continue to push you forward here and get myself in a better position in this series. And it worked out extremely well. We saw the Argent push that we knew was coming. It's been a constant thing every single matchup. So it's like switching up and adapting to how you're doing it. I mean, one thing to note, Mixu has been, he's had so many matchups now against Celestials, right? If we think about how he got to play in the winner's bracket, he played 5 games against Nicoract already. He played 5 games against Garnath, and now he's just played 2 more against Nicoract. Like, he's warmed up and feels really good right now in this matchup. Nicoract had a little break, right? He had to sit back and watch the series go on. He didn't have the same sort of like momentum and speed to keep playing during that time. He had a little bit of a break to kind of relax and chill out, and now it might be showing that difference of, okay, I'm feeling crispy, I'm feeling fresh, I'm ready to just keep up my micro skills and really push you to your limit. I know how you play. You do the same Argent build every single time, so I just need to make sure that I'm ready for your pushes, and if I defend those, I'm okay. And he's not afraid to pull the Bobs to help him defend. He's not afraid to use them for repairing, for attacking. Like, Mixu's kind of learned how Nicoract is trying to play. But now we're going into, because it's the best of 7, we get to see like every game potentially here. We're going to be going into Jagged Maw as our next game here. This is going to be really cool to be able to see, because it's not often that we see this map, and it's going to be very interesting to see how aggressive these players decide to be. All right, it's the one most players hate, Jagged Maw, but it's one that is very cool and very worth diving into to see the skills that these players have. All right, let's load in game number, what are we on? 4? Third map, but 4th game potentially if we count that +1 that he's got. All right, Jagged Maw spawning up in the center. Destructible rocks here, but spawning in the north. Currently leading the series 2-1. Our Vanguard player, who's had the most points in Alpha Navigator Cup weeklies, is trying to get his title here and become the champion. He is Mixu. His opponent spawning in the south, representing the Celestials. He is able to make it to this event through the last chance qualifier, showing his skills as a Celestial powerhouse. He is known as Nicoract. All right, we're set up here, ready to start creeping the health camp. We've talked about how important it is. Mixu's kind of keeping an eye on, watching. He knows there's going to be that creeping coming up. We're going to see the Sovereign's Watch. We're going to build up and start utilizing that to help us creep. We're setting up as our natural expansion, as our main hub of being able to progress through. Argent opening is going to be coming out as well with the creation chamber. We know that. In the meantime, the Lancer Doggo opening, starting things out the way you expect a Vanguard player to do. Now, Jagged Maw is a very small map. It's very quick to get across this map and start attacking your opponents. There still are the... Ooh, almost. There still are the siege camps in the center. All right, it's a little bit different. It is now a rocket launcher tank, and it is a big, beefy boy that's protecting it, this skull squasher here. Now, there's a little ways that you can kind of position yourself on the high ground and kind of cheese that camp to get it going as quick as possible. Back during the beta, players would kill this camp and destroy these rocks, so it would just like get over to your opponent as fast as possible, because you don't control this tank. It just moves. There is the center location. This is the pathway that players can run to get over here. We've of course got our Therium mine, our watchtower, since that is our main area to get in there. But check this out. Catching one Argent up on the high ground. There's two on the high ground to try to defend it, but losing one here for the price of, some dogs is not that big of a deal. Can he get it? He does get the snipe off here and will be able to run on out. So every little bit counts, right? Every little bit of units that you're able to take out makes the big push that you know is coming that much weaker. So little snipes early on and micro skills, and taxing your opponent is important. So Doggo's coming in, getting the reveal. We're trying to get the snipes off here, right? We want to get the last hits, because if you last hit any of these creeps, you're going to be the one that is getting the resources. But nice getting the flower, healing that guy up. Our Lancer's scrambling, trying to run back home here, and now we're in this panic mode of going, okay, now my units are really, really hurt. I got to make it back to this healing factor and be able to kind of heal up for the next stages. But this is what we were talking about. So watch this. We're going to start cheesing up here, utilizing this Exo here. He's going to run back and forth because he's like, I'm hurt. Something's attacking me. I'm hurt. Something's attacking me. And he can't actually get to what's attacking him. But this is revealed. The Vision Camp sees that this is happening, sees that there are Exos here fighting this. So now we're in this kind of response of, okay, what do I do about this? Do I just push and use my attack now? Lancer just gets sniped off here. The Exos are very, very weak, though, right? There's not high numbers, so we're in this panic. Yeah, now we have to abandon ship. We did a lot of damage. That was great, but this is the risk, all right? Can we be able to fight this right here? This is not a lot that we have to be able to defend against this. The Exos, though, dealing a lot of damage at the front. Remember, these Argents deal less damage when they do not have their full energy, and a lot of these have been wasting a lot of their energy being out there and hitting all those creep camps. Doggo's being able to heal up, that's going to make a big difference here. So if this force just starts to get shredded a little bit more, the dog's whole job right now is to absorb some of this damage, and then you're going to be able to go and pick apart more of this. But the longer this goes on, the more we can just pivot back and be able to take out this camp, right? He's got a little bit of regen, but it's like nothing, right? 1 health, that's it. We've already gotten him at least halfway there, so going to snipe a bunch of these. And we have quite a lot of Exos already built out here. Look at this nice little micro, clean up, get a big boost in our economy. How are we doing on our upgrades? Well, we got a Biokinetic Slab here. Doggos, no upgrades. Exos, no upgrades yet, but that's okay. Shall we finish the Skull Squasher here? It's risky, like, to go for it and commit too much to it, but you want to utilize it while you have it. So here we go. Camping himself up here. Boom, boom, boom. Cleans that up. And the watchtower is there, so he still knows this is coming. But we're doing the same thing on the other side. But again, you're spending so much of your energy to kill this off. How well will your opponent respond to it? We're not going to break the center and go for like a crazy push because that's very risky, right? That's a 100% all-in push to be able to go for that. Argent's going to take control of this. But yeah, look how slow this rocket launcher tank goes. But that's a big help. We're going to get over here. Constantly revealing, where are you? Where's your army? What are you doing? And look at this. We're going to, oh, Exo, careful. Yeah, we're going to use this rocket launcher to help us creep this camp. Bam. Big splash damage going on here. We know that this is coming. Look, here it comes. But, oh my gosh, so many Cabals are here. So, this is where things are going to get bad. If he can catch this, catching the tank early is great. And if he notices the Cabals, he does. And now it's this kind of panic. All right, I've got to rely on this tank for the added DPS here. Let's see what happens. How much micro is going to happen? How much splitting is going to happen? Not very much yet. And the Exo Medtech comes out and immediately gets targeted down. Gets run the block on for a second there. But look, the tank is still doing more and more damage. That's going to get single targeted down. But how much extra damage? So much extra damage by forcing himself to do that fight there. Cabals have helped out to slow things down. But the Exo count is still very high. So much damage is still here, allowing him to continue this pressure forward, and this is not an all-in. We have an expansion behind it. We continue up our production here. So we're going to try to continue to creep, take advantage of everything while we have this small window, small chance and opportunity to utilize the map to ourselves. Now, this is still here to kind of give information. He's doesn't really care that much. He's not going to be worried about sending that out there. But there's the big kind of ascension. Let's send those camps on up, get all of those resources there so my opponent cannot. But now we get control of this health camp. So what are you going to do? You're going to continue to fight here. We've got the Sovereign's Watch coming down here, but big heal is going to be utilized. Oh my gosh, that was so low. Oh, this is a tough spot. The Sovereign Watch lasts for a very long time, so you've got to be in a nice little pocket, allowing the med tech, allowing the health tower to kind of heal you up. But that's it. He knew exactly when the timing was going to run out, and he can keep this pressure on here. How much power do they've got at these power banks? Not very much, but still a decent amount of Argents with energy. So he's got to sit here and continue to micro and battle, rely on the Cabals, but so much of these power banks are empty. All right. We're going to see him just kind of scramble and try to deal with his creation chamber, though, is very low. 60 health here. Will get sniped off, so that's going to cut the production down for our Celestial player. Nicoract is scrambling, trying to respond to this. He's got the Cabals. He's got the Argents. He's got our Sovereign Watch to help out as well, but do we only have one? Oh, we do. Our second creation chamber just getting started up here, so our production is cut in half. Even though we might have the energy and the speed to produce very quickly, it's not going to be enough here. And there, oh, getting a nice, oh my gosh, almost targeted him down. We'll be focusing him down, but the healing is making a huge difference. He's trying to run and doesn't get out of there, but GG calls. He knows I can't sit here and continue to fight against these Exos. My Argents are dead. I only have one creation chamber. I will have to tap out, and giving Mixu another game in this series here. Great play here from Mixu, up 3-1 in this best of 7. The only one game right now that Nicoract has is the one that he got from being in the winner bracket final and moving on. What a series. I mean, really, it was the Exos and getting to them so quickly and being able to build up that count so quickly. Like, we knew we wanted to get to a big Argent count, but we couldn't afford to only go Argents this time. Nicoract had to get up and be able to create a different set of an army composition. He needed the Cabals there to be able to set him up in a spot that he could use the slows, really be able to help out. But a big part and reason why Mixu got that win there was the tank, right? The rocket launcher tank had a huge part to play in that, dealing so much extra damage to the clumped up Celestial army. But we are jumping into it. Lost Hope as our next map. Nicoract is in need of some energy to help him to get through this series. All right, but this is the map that will help him quite a bit here. Spawning in the south. Our blue Celestial player in the cross-spawn location here. Currently down 1-3. He needs all the energy to stop the Vanguard player here. He is known as Nicoract. And his opponent, our Vanguard player, currently leading the series 3-1. Needs one more game to become the champion that he tried to become during the beta. He's trying again now. He is Mixu. All right. Doggo coming in, confirming the locations cross spawn. This is that weird one where Nicoract, if he was paying attention where the dog came from, he might be like, oh, are you above me? Are you vertical spawns? Can he get the snipe? Oh, maybe. I wish there was an indicator of like who's getting the last hit. Oh, he wants it, but he can't get it. Oh, he can get it. Oh my gosh, I think he missed it. I think he dropped it down to 1 health and then the morph core got it. But he gets out of there. We'll run on home. Run back over because we're going to start getting our health camps of our own. And look how weak these guys are. Bam, bam, bam. Slice and dice. Our Lancer gets powered up. Doggo's helping us out. And it's going to be all creep all the time here for these players as they get set up on their side of the map. So if you're getting used to the maps, let's talk a little bit about some of the features that make this map so cool and so unique. One of which is we've got kind of the easy to take expansion, which is our jumping off our launching point for our Celestial player Nicoract. We can see him going for the double creation chamber here, powering it up with lots of power banks for this big push that he's going to be constructing here. On the other side here, we've got a big wave of doggos starting to move their way across. We know what's happening, so let's get ready. Here they come, going in, trying to find some damage, trying to get some snipes off. Sees the amount of urgence already and goes, okay, I cannot hit you now. I'm going to just leave and go get some speed camps, get some health camps on the other side of the map and start taking over. There's a lot of camps on this map, and so both players are going to be very active moving out and trying to take over them the best that they can here. And, you know, it's very easy if we can get into the late games to take a third base because it's kind of tucked back in by your natural. All right, so we'll see if we can get to that stage. But a lot of times we see very specific timing attacks, these big build up and these huge shoot ups in economy that allows players to get this nice little advantage and just kind of hit a timing. Now, one thing that we've been seeing with Mixu is he's learned that he can't really take expansion early in this matchup, specifically against the type of play and gameplay that Nicoract goes for. He knows he can't. So he goes into a very quick exo strategy here. It worked out in the last couple of games where the high damage that he gets from it works out really well, especially when he knows that his opponent is also being active and creeping and basically losing out on his Argent's ability to deal extra damage. But we see, of course, taking over the vision camp, which is so much vision. You can look and just see how much vision you get. It's huge. Like, there's so much area that you see. But we continue to take all the health camps. All the easy to take and easy to capture camps are going to be grabbed. You know, it's a large map. We're cross spawn. We have nothing but time before we have to get to our opponents. Oh, we just kind of leave the watchtower, but we know we're going to send like a doggo or somebody over there to capture that in the near future. Just stay there. 1 sec. You'll be okay. All right. Let's grab this one. Our Celestial player, Nicoract, is like up in base, but he's did a pivot this time around and started to get the Kree out earlier. So this is that thing we were talking about earlier of adapting to your opponent's play styles and responding accordingly. So will Mixu identify this, though? He's got the dogs over here, so he can be able to like continue to get the information in the scanning. Next camp, speed camp, going to get captured. Why didn't that get captured? That was weird. Is there a bug? Oh my gosh. Did he just get... That's crazy. That little Shadow Mastiff chased them all the way over there. All right. Exo count getting a little bit higher, but the Kree are getting higher. So when we get to the fighting, pay close attention to the location of where the Exos are and where the Kree are. Because if the Kree bounce on top of this army, then it's going to be shredded. Dogs are very weak against Kree. Exos are very weak against Kree. Kree are needing to get to the very specific location that in order to win that fight. But we've got the upgrade for our Exos, so they get that extra speed boost, which will make it a little bit easier to run away from them. We don't have any Cabals this time. So this is like a pure, I'm all in on defensive mode right now. I'm not trying to push out and end the game. I'm not trying to get a bunch of Cabals to crush you with and slow you down. I'm going to just kind of play it safe, and we're going to go into a little bit of a longer game. But you can't come in and kill me. I'm not going to let you do it. I'm going to just kind of play it safe. I'm going to build up my prism count, and then when I feel comfortable enough, I'll start rolling out, and we can start fighting. But there's the reveal, so he knows what the army looks like, how many Kree there are. This is the scary part where you're like, you don't know where your opponent's at. You don't know if it's safe to move out, and we're going to try to get up here. And look at the Kree. Pay close attention. The Exos have to run. They're going to get pounced on here, and he's splitting them, doing a great job, allowing the dogs to try to absorb a lot of the hits, and the Exos are scrambling here to get back away from the Kree, and we did get a nice little micro battle there to try to run away, and it worked out great. But the Kree are just looking for that chance and opportunity to pounce on top of these Exos here. Now we're going to be able to start grabbing additional cans, but look at the amount of towers. So much red on the mini map right now from all of Mixu's control, something that is allowing him to be able to kind of secure this. Now he's going to be getting his own natural expansion. It has been revealed, so he knows exactly what to be expecting of where we are timing wise of things. And this is that big, okay, I know where you're at, I know how things are looking timing wise, so I'm going to move out. In the meantime, a dog is taking another tower, just saying, hey, I'm going to take this over. Yes, I see you. You're in the center of the map. That's cool. What if you don't have additional resources from this Luminite tower anymore? The dogs are going to take this as well. And look, it forces Nicoract to come back, and the dog can just kind of run away. He doesn't care. It's basically just forcing him to stay at home to fight over tower control while he's out here continuing to get a big boost in economy from all of the camps that he controls. But where are we? Okay, I was like, where's the next tech up here? Good. Added the mech bay, adding the Vulcans, this high DPS here. He can't rely only on the Exos for his DPS, or if the Kree ever jump on top of him, this army will die. Now, the front line, we only have one Lancer. We've got one Vulcan, but the army is a high damage. It's a glass cannon army. High damage, low health. Another doggo coming over here. We'll get cleaned up, but again, just denying it, right? Okay, cool. You're over there. I'll come back over here. All right. Let's just reveal real quick where you're at. Look at this dog over here. He's trying to fight it, but this is what we're talking about, the scanners. These are able to just start controlling the towers and preventing your opponent from being able to get them. So spending the resources on the scanners are really cool, something that I'm starting to see more and more Celestial players do on this map, and it's like insanely powerful because it's like you really just need to have the reveal from a dog. You need to have Exos there to kill it off. So it's like, yeah, so he's going to get over here. He's going to see it, snipe it, and now we can start taking it. But if he's looking and he's controlling other locations like here, and he sees I still don't have this, it'll be that information, the reveal of, oh, okay, so you took this over. Look at this. He's trying to clear this pathway just to make sure it's easier for his troops to maneuver around the map. All right, how are we doing? Where's our next tech up? Where's our next transition? Ah, there we go. Animancer's coming out here for our Celestial player. So the black hole ability here will be huge and allowing him to kind of get things going in a big fight. But this is our first really big test for these players. You know, we're going to be getting into we've had no real battles. We've had little skirmishes here and there, but we're building up for our first real battle soon. So both players are posturing over on the right-hand side of the map. Remember, every time that a camp is taken, that gives more information about where your opponent's army is. And like we'll see, boom, ping, the red heart pops up soon. Oh my gosh. There's the reveal too, just trying to check. Okay, where are you? What are you doing? Oh, we're split up a little bit. One Exo is going to be going down for free. Pay close attention to the Animancers. It is a channel ability for their black hole stuff. There it is. There's the black hole coming down here and going to be having a nice little split. Vulcans and Exos aren't really able to engage, but we are going to be starting to shred with our Vulcans here. The Exos are starting to get attacked by the Kree, so he's going to have to keep microing back the best he can. One little med tech alive here, making a big difference in the healing factor, trying to keep these units alive. Vulcans are starting to go down there. Another one does arrive. Do we have defenders advantage for troops getting very close? But big power up coming out from both celestial sides here as the energy goes up, but the armies have crumbled. The amount of exos still left alive is huge. We've talked about how high a DPS army that Mixu has been creating, and that showed it right there in that big fight. We had the Animancers trying to do those black holes, trying to slow down the army, trying to add some extra DPS there, and it wasn't enough to be able to help because Mixu had a great split, spread himself out perfectly there so he could be able to do that. And now we can start to see, all right, it's safe. Let's start running. Let's start going. Let's start getting ourselves in position to set up. And, oh, the Bobs are coming in. Are we going for another contain? Are we just going all in? The reveal showed this army. This is not really where you want to be, though. The amount of Animancers that are here are going to put a stop to this. So we're going to get the slow, methodical. Let's just slowly build up the sentry post here. And look at this, Kree coming in. There's the black holes coming down. One on the right-hand side, one on the left-hand side, trying to split the army. But the doggos get on top of the Animancers. That's huge. A bunch of the Kree making a brick wall of bombs, but it is not enough to stop the exos. There's one Animancer in the back trying to channel, trying to slow things down, but where's the rest of the army to help out? Not here. And this is kind of the wall. He says, all right, stay back. Don't cross this line, but there's the heal up happening over here. Med station up. We're going to have this as our forward location, trying to create a nice hard contain outside of Nicoract's base here. And I love to see it. Here we go. Moving our way forward here. There's our next little setup. Sentry post coming out. Big black hole coming down, draining down, dealing a lot of damage in that area, but not a lot of units actually killed off there, and we will be seeing kind of this scramble, the try to recharge of energy. See another black hole getting added in here, but there we go. Flat cannons starting to get added to the mix. Continue to just bunny hop our way forward here. We got repair-o-matics. We've got our med techs coming in here. Lots of bombs are ready here and for this next little push. Continuing to do this hard contain, basically forcing his opponent to live inside of his base, allowing for more and more army to kind of get built up. Big reveal, just kind of trying to see how big and how scary is your army. But watch this. We're going to see this split. Take over this camp because there's so much here. You're scared. You don't know how much is on the other side of that ramp. You can't really afford to kind of push down the ramp, which allows for more control of the watchtowers. Look, Bob's going to even take this one over here on the left. We'll come over here. We'll try to grab that next Therium tower. In the meantime, Doggo's coming up. Black holes going down on the Exos. Next set of Archons move down the ramp. They're coming on the right-hand side. We're trying to go for a big bust. We're trying to get in here. Great black holes coming down here, actually doing a lot of damage. The flat cannons helping out. The repair from the med station helping out here. Next big set of black holes coming over there on the right, forcing a lot of this army back. Big power-ups trying to recharge all this energy here. The army is starting to crumble there for all the Vanguard players, and now he's kind of forced back a little bit more to the next station here, using the next set of med techs, using the next set of sentry posts to kind of build up and reposition. But really, it's a lot of area, surface area that you have to watch here, and the amount of Argents out is getting scarier and scarier, so you can't necessarily just only commit to this. But we do have both players sitting up on 3 bases behind all this hard contain that we've got set up here, and now it's like, okay, what can I do? Do I just give up here? This army is really scary. And there's the black hole. That's why you don't want to just sit here and fight in this location, but we are going to start to see some scrapyards get built up. He says, I'm going to use these bombs and really start to kind of take control of this. Look at this nice micro back and forth. Going to be trying to keep these units alive. We'll lose the sentry post in the process here, but that's okay. We know it was only a matter of time before that happened. There's the reveal to kind of confirm what is going on. Let's take over this watchtower to give us some information. We'll lose these bobs here. A little black hole going to get used, but we're not that worried about the bobs. All right, a couple of them do manage to escape, reset ourselves up. A couple of bobs getting rallied on over here. Their whole job was to do some mining, and we got a few more trickling over that we're going to have to re-rally some of these guys. But allowing us to kind of reposition, get a big boost in economy through our next wave, get the speed camp here too, but the Argents count is getting higher. The Animancer count is getting higher, and this army is getting scarier and scarier. So this might be getting close to the time that we see the big push to the other side of the map. Now it's Nicoract's time to push back and try to bust and take out his opponent. Will there be enough defenses here? We're starting to see more sentry posts get added in here. Doggos want to move out and try to confirm what's going on, but oh, Atlas is here. We've gotten to the late stages. This is a big thing. We're trying to get a shot off. If we can start getting the shots and getting some added DPS and just keep falling back, it's going to just destroy this army. And Nicoract knows that, and so he's now trying to reposition and refocus how he engages here. But look, boom, couple hits, reposition. Couple hits, reposition. Exo's getting some extra shots in as well. We'll shave off a couple in this fight here. But there we go. We got 2 Atlases up and running now. We've got our Sentry Post doing the Repair-O-Matic adventures here. He's got to be very careful. Next black hole. Bob's coming. Where are you going, Bob? Oh, my gosh. So many Bobs getting shredded in this initial fight here. But the amount of Argents is really scary. It's all coming down to these Atlases really just keeping him alive and keeping him going at this point in time. Next set of Exos coming out, regrouping up. We've got a lot of barracks up and running, but we've got our 4th base here now. So we've gotten to that stage. Both players are getting ready for this next push, though. We know it's coming. We know Nicoract is gearing up for it. Is he going through? Oh, he's in this debate mode. Does he go and just take out the camps and try to push into the 4th base and find another avenue? That's a very risky move if you go for that, because if you get in there and you just get destroyed, you're kind of basically out of the game. Big catch. Taking out 3 Anomancers, though. Army going to continue to posture up here. Large army count for Nicoract, but he's getting himself ready. Still on the move out with these Argents. Still making sure that he can be able to get as much done as possible. And look, even sending one over to make sure there's no hidden expansions or anything like that taking place. And a couple Bobs are actually working their way over there to try to sneak in an expansion. And look at that anti-timing. Right as Nicoract went over there to like check this and sees, okay, cool, you don't have any bases over here. A bunch of Bobs show up to try to make a base. But the big fight in the center is taking place. More black holes coming in. The Vulcan there trying to get his way out of there. Does manage to get out. And there the Atlas start dropping down fire. And we will see 3 Atlases built in with this army. But so many Exos died with this push here. More and more pushing their way forward here. Vulcan's trying. Exo's getting shredded in these black holes, though. He's trying to split the best he can. But really, we got to try to level up and get our Atlas is a little bit more powerful. Get the upgrade for them if we can. That Plasma Arc Infuser. And now we're going to be seeing expansions coming down. Expansions coming down for both players. We're continuing to fight over. Oh my gosh, he's going for the sneak. All invisible all the time. We don't know how many troops are here if you're sitting here on the Vanguard side. But you're trying to find the avenue. So he's coming in. Look at this flank that's going to come and get him. Here we go. Big Argent push coming from the left-hand side as well. Bunch of our Atlas dropping out here, but one gets cleaned up. The second one's going to get cleaned up as well here, but we still have an Atlas over on the left-hand side helping out there. We do see the dropship coming over and try to help out, but the Scythes are here now. This is where things can start breaking this stalemate that we had. Big black holes coming down here, trying to shred this army, and they're slowing them down, doing so much damage. The Scythe trying to make that difference here, but look at this. Anomancers on the right-hand side getting killed off here, and now you're going to be left with a bunch of Argents that are super weak here, and the Exos left alive. They're powering their way forward here, taking out all of these troops. Yes, you have the air superiority. You've taken out all the stuff in the sky, but where is your ground fighting forces? They're gone. So the Scythe's going to catch a Bob that was over here trying to be safe. This base, well, technically is safe right now, but the rest of the Exos coming over here just in case these Scythes try to make moves over this way. Plus, they get that added bonus of the speed. Will he catch it? Oh my gosh, he does. 1. And will he get a second one? 2, 3. All 3 of them go down. That is huge here. Nicoract is now in this kind of, okay, I've got Argents back up. I've got Scythes. I'm trying to reposition this better army here for this. I'm trying to get that next big influx of resources that I can be able to use. And we see him fighting over this ooze. But so many of his Argents have no energy. That means no extra damage, where we're starting to see the longer this army stays alive for Mixu, the scarier that it gets. Big push up here. Next wave coming out, but big black hole going to put a stop to it. And oh, traps it in there. Says no more of that. We're not going to be doing any of this. Locks this guy down here. Exo's powering his way up the ramp, shredding so many Argents. Look at all of these 2 level 3 stars. He's going to be really hurting all of these Argents, and we see supplies starting to dwindle. It's really relying on these Anomancers try to hold the line, but it's not going to be enough. And GG is called. Mixu takes the series 4-1. came back from the loser bracket, came back to get revenge against Nicoract. What a story we got to see today. Mixu showing that he got second place in Alpha Navigator Cup 0 finals, coming into this, dominating through the winner's bracket, falling to Nicoract, only to go back from the loser bracket final, beating Garnath, beating now Nicoract in the grand final, saying that he is the top Vanguard player here, taking out all of the other players in this game. What a series. What an adventure that we got to see. What an amazing storyline to see Mixu finally get that title, finally get to raise that trophy up that he was trying since the beta for the Alpha Navigator Cups. He really is the embodiment of what Alpha Navigator Cup stands for, of those weekly, the grassroots organizations, getting 400 points and winning so many weeklies to put him into this stage to show that, yes, hard work is paying off. The weekly grinds matter. Coming out here and playing against really skilled players matter. Where Nicoract and Garnath were able to qualify in the last chance qualifier, made it to the finals, both in the loser bracket and the winner bracket, but not powerful enough to win any more there. Big shout out to all the players that played in the event, were able to qualify in from last chance qualifier or qualify in via skills and winning at the last chance qualifier event. But awesome job from everybody here. Big shout out to Adiko for helping to run and set up such an amazing weekly event. But that is going to be doing it for us.